Shulkin, and I'm here to talk a little bit about raw foods, the raw food lifestyle, and the raw food movement that's occurring in our culture right here and now. The raw food movement is probably one of the most progressive movements in our culture today, and it's doing incredible things on multiple levels for the planet and for health as we know it. Those of us that have been on a raw food diet, a well-balanced raw food diet for some time, feel that we have discovered part of the answer to our disconnection with nature. We feel like this is a key piece to that puzzle and reconnecting ourselves with nature. It's not just another diet fad out of LA or anything like that. Raw foods is a very powerful movement, and obviously those of us that have been doing it or have some interest in it know that enzymes are probably the major thing with the whole movement, or with the whole switch to this diet. There's, just for a refresher, there's food enzymes, digestive enzymes, and metabolic enzymes. The food enzymes are supposed to work synergistically with the digestive enzymes, which are supposed to come supplied with your food, supplied by Mother Nature. However, through the cooking process, pretty much 100% of the enzymes are destroyed in this process, which leaves our bodies forced to drain the metabolic enzymes, which are needed for every process in the body to occur properly for the purpose of digestion. So, as we drain our enzyme bank, we set the way for degenerative disease to infest our body. Raw foods contain plant enzymes. They're very rich in enzymes. They do contain only enough enzymes to digest themselves, so when one begins a diet of raw plant foods, they may want to incorporate enzymes into their diet to help them digest all the prior food that is lingering in their system, fermenting whatever it's doing in there. And it's a pretty simple plan, all in all, to just eat the food that nature's provided for us. However, in this culture that we live in, it revolves around the cooking of food and processed foods and packaging. We have factories after factories in use and being created for the production of processed foods. We're creating tons of waste, packaging, through the pollution that these factories are emitting, when we could just take the simple solution and eat raw plant foods. It's funny, in this culture it seems like one is considered extreme if they choose to eat this diet, and just they're just far out and they're not thinking straight. But to me, extreme seems like having to go to the doctor and having maybe like bypass surgery, or extreme is price of health insurance. Those things seem pretty extreme to me in comparison to eating foods that are provided by Mother Nature. It's a fairly simple concept. So a little bit about the process of cooking your food. When you cook your food, it's quite a process. It's basically, when you heat an average, say, baked potato, heat it up to, throw in the oven, heat it up 400 degrees, whatever. Through the process of the cooking, approximately 400 to 450 new chemical composites are created. Scientists have studied approximately 50 of those, and out of those 50, they found almost all of them to be peroxidizing, toxic, mutagenic, completely, basically attacking cell nuclei and setting up cancer in the cells. So, and that's only 50 of the 450. The other ones, they just didn't have time to get them all. So that right there, that research is pretty solid, frightening research that reveals that the cooking process, there's no benefits to it really. It's very detrimental to health and to food. It's like, it's a bad chemistry experiment, really. It's with a Bunsen burner. You heat something, up to a certain temperature, it clouds and coagulates, does what it needs to accordingly, and it creates a new molecular composite, chemical composite. So it's the same thing with cooking. It's definitely a chemistry experiment in the kitchen. Something to consider next time you're cooking up your food. So Dr. Edward Howell has done extensive, over 50 years worth of research on enzymes. He has a wonderful book out, Enzyme Nutrition. And basically what his studies have revealed is that enzymes are the missing link to optimal health. So we should think about optimal health and how to attain it when we think about how to gain muscle and strength, beauty. We're not going to gain strength from a dead muscle, from another beast. Basically, strength, if you look at the gorilla, strength is attained from true strength is attained from pure plant foods. That's pure strength, pure protein, straight to every cell in the body. And just the protein myth is far out of hand in our culture today. And I'd like to clarify that about proteins and complete proteins. Basically, number one, through the cooking process, a lot of the protein is denatured and it can become somewhat toxic to the system. 85%, just to back up a little bit, 85% of the vitamin nutrient value of food is lost through the cooking process. The mineral content will remain fairly stabilized, but the vitamin content is pretty much wiped out. Nutrient content also. So with protein, basically studies have shown that the average 150-pound male would need 25 to 30 grams of complete protein in a day, which would be more than enough. More may vary depending upon activity levels, but we need to keep in mind what a complete protein really is. The two most complete proteins known to humanity are going to be algae, spirulina, and bee pollen. Those are the two most concentrated proteins that we know of. Complete proteins packed with every amino acids and multiple enzymes to help break down the protein. That's complete protein. It's the amino acid makeup of these foods. Those foods are the most condensed, assimilable, digestible proteins that we know of. They're going to do far more for your body than any muscle is going to do for you. Again, the most complete proteins that we know of are going to be bee pollen. Local bee pollen, ideally, a softer, radiant color would be ideal. And spirulina, or any algae of the sort, any superfood algae complex, is going to be the most complete, assimilable, digestible protein that you will be able to have, that will nourish every cell within the body and will create true strength within and true health, not a rotting piece of muscle from another being, another species. But it's kind of ironic too that we're the only